Well, as you know, this is the 11th annual Pizza Hut Wabash Valley Classic. And by the turnout that we've had today at the luncheon, probably one of the best turnouts we've had in 11 years at the luncheon. We're anticipating record crowds again this year. It is my pleasure to introduce the visionary for this tournament, our coach, captain and point guard, Mr. Gary Fears.
I want to echo what Brian was saying about the success of this tournament, and it's really a labor of love. But it's a labor of love not only for myself and my staff at Pizza Hut, but each one of you, every principal, athletic director, and coach that's a part of this tournament, make the tournament what it is. We couldn't do it without all of you together. And it's a testament for you to come to the luncheon. And it's just we've got 16 class high schools to deal with. And it's such a pleasure to go to the 4 days of the tournament, see the great athletes that perform, compete, whether they're competing for the consolation bracket or on the winner's bracket. It makes no difference. Their play, they give it 100%. And that's what high school basketball has always been about in the state of Indiana. Most of you know that. And again, we're so thankful to have you be a part of this tournament. As Brian mentioned earlier, we have a very special guest with us this year to do the drawing, Mr. Bob Heaton. Bob is a 1975 graduate of Clay City High School. He played on the varsity basketball team for 4 years, as the Eels won 85 games and their sectional all 4 years. In 1974, Bob's junior year, Clay City won the Terre Haute Regional for the first time. And keep in mind, that's long before class basketball took effect in 1998. The Eels beat Linton in the morning round and then had to face Terre Haute North for the regional championship. Clay City had won 22 games in a row, and Terre Haute North had won 20 in a row going into that contest. And in front of an overflowing crowd, Clay City prevailed 64-59, with Bob scoring 21 points to lead the 24-1 Eels to victory. It was then on to Evansville to play in the semi-state and face the number 2 team in the state in Jeffersonville. Clay City, with a school enrollment of 290 students, sold 2,150 semi-state tickets. Incredible. The Eels led that game with under 2 minutes to play, only to lose 52-46. Bob had 19 points and 16 rebounds and was selected to the all-semi-state team. In Bob's senior year, he averaged 22 points per game in the Tri-River Conference. He scored the go-ahead basket in an overtime win against Sullivan to win Clay City's 4th straight championship. Heading once again to the Terre Haute Regional, Bob was the media's most talked-about player, and he certainly lived up to his billing by scoring 26 points and grabbing 13 rebounds in a win over Linton to set up a highly anticipated rematch with Terre Haute North. But unfortunately for Clay City fans, Bob suffered severe muscle cramps to his legs during the game as the Patriots came away with the win. It was reported that after this very disappointing loss, Bob walked, but I have to believe probably limped would be more accurate, to the Patriot locker room and congratulated the Patriots. This was a remarkable gesture of sportsmanship from an 18-year-old athlete, which told a lot about his character and how he was raised. The following day, the Tribune quoted the North coach, Hard Sharp, as saying, "Heaton is the best big man we played all year." After graduating from Clay City, Bob was recruited by Coach Al Harden, a former IU star from Covington, Indiana, who was head coach at the University of Denver. Bob enjoyed his first 2 years of college ball there, but at the end of his sophomore year, the university had financial issues and elected to drop out of Division I basketball. Bob knew he wanted to compete at the highest level, so finding a Division I school was a top priority for him in the summer of 1977. The basketball staff at Indiana State was very much aware of Bob's basketball success at Clay City. Plus, he had scored 15 points for Denver in a game against ISU at Holman Center in the 1977 Indiana Hall of Fame Classic. Ironically, Bob and Larry Bird made that Classic's all-tournament team, and a few months later, Bob would transfer to ISU and eventually become Larry's roommate. He was redshirted for a year before joining the Sycamores in the fall of 1978. Most of you in this room either watched on TV or have been told about the ISU game on February 1st, 1979, from New Mexico State University, as the undefeated 18-0 Sycamores were 2 points behind with 3 seconds left, and New Mexico State shooting a 1-and-1 free throw. The shooter missed the first shot. Brad Miley rebounded the ball and passed it to Bobby at midcourt. Bob turned and shot the ball towards the basket. Later it was stated he said he thought the shot was going over the backboard. But fortunately for Indiana State, the ball bounced off the backboard right through the net, tying the game, which ISU won in overtime, forever labeling Bob as the Wabash Valley's miracle man. The Sycamores finished the regular season with a perfect 29-0 record and were voted UPI's national champions. After defeating Virginia Tech and Oklahoma in the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament, the Sycamores faced the 6th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks and Sidney Moncrief in the Midwest Regional Final in Cincinnati. The score was tied 71-71 with 18 seconds left. And here is how a young Tribune reporter recounted that moment the next day in the paper. Indiana State's miracle man struck again here Saturday. Bob Heaton sinking an off-balance, double pump, left-handed shot with 2 seconds left on the clock to give the Sycamores the NCAA Midwest Regional title and a trip to Salt Lake City with a 73-71 victory over Arkansas. That young reporter's name is Andy Amy. ISU then went out west to play DePaul and Market Gar in the semifinals. DePaul led with less than a minute to go before the Miracle Man once again puts in the game winner. ISU entered the national championship game at 33-0, but lost to Michigan State and Magic Johnson in the final game. Bob was the 3rd leading scorer for the Sycamores during their 5 NCAA tournament games. Personally, I believe that there had been an award for the best 6th man in college basketball that year, Bobby Heaton would have been the favorite to win that award. Bobby's teammates went on to have a respectable season his senior year, with him earning his degree in business administration. He has been in the insurance and financial services business since graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I ask the Wabash Valley's own miracle man and our newly elected state representative, Mr. Bob Heaton, to join me for the drawing of the 11th annual Wabash Valley Classic.
Boy, it's amazing what you'll find on Google, I guess. But now that I'm involved in politics, the pressure's on me to get on Valley High School a good draw. You know, nothing against Terrell South, but I like those people down in Owen County. So we'll just go ahead and start the pick right now, I guess.
Pressure's on you, buddy. So we're drawing for Game 1 to be played at 10 a.m. on Monday, December the 27th. Linton Stockton. Linton's opponent in Game 1. Riverton Park. Game 2 at 11:30 a.m. Casey Westfield. And Casey's opponent will be Bloomfield. Now we're at Game 3 on Monday, December the 27th at 1 p.m. Northview Knights. Northview's opponent will be Shakamak Lakers. Now for Game 4 at 2:30. Turkey Run Warriors. And their opponent, Monrovia. Game 5, 4 p.m. on Monday, December the 27th. Owen Valley. Their opponent, the Marshall Lions. Game 6 at 5:30. The host school, Terre Haute South. South opponent. Yep, it finally happened. Terre Haute North. Game 7 at 7 o'clock. South Vermilion. Their opponent, Sullivan. And obviously in Game 8 on Monday, December the 27th at 8:30, the Rockville Rocks against the West Vigo Vikings. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the draw for the 11th annual Pizza Hut Wabash Valley Classic. We knew it was finally going to have to happen. The two big schools would draw each other. It took 11 years to get there, but it finally happened. There's probably 14 other schools that are happy about that. Thank you all for coming today. Coaches, I know the media like to interview you when you can.